What's up, YouTube? This is Joe, and you are watching Ink&Iron. Today we're going to take a look at two multi-tools. This will serve as my review of the Leatherman Free P4 over here. I'm going to compare it today to my Leatherman Surge. I have spent more time with these two multi-tools than any others, and I just want to go through each tool one by one, do a comparison, and give you my thoughts on what the Free series can learn from Leatherman's older tools, because as most of you know by now, this could be a lot better than it is. Alright, so we're going to go to the tabletop, go through each tool one at a time, and I'll give you my thoughts on where I would like this Free series to end up in the future. Alright, let's go. Okay, first things first, let's take a look at these pocket clips on the Leatherman Free P4. This is a pretty deep carry clip. Let's see if I can demo that. Maybe. It's a pretty tight clip, as you can tell. So we try and slide this paper in there. There we go. So it's going to bury in a pocket about that deep. It does hold securely. I've never had it fall out of my pocket. So this is a win. I like the deep carry clip, and I like that the tool now comes with the clip. When I ordered it originally, it did not. But I got one once I sent that one back for warranty. The Surge does not come with a clip. I bought this clip after the fact. It is a Leatherman made clip. However, you can see it kind of slides back and forth. I would call it deep carry, but I would say that material really only goes to about here, like any normal thickness of like pants or, you know, overalls, anything like that. It's only going to go up to here. It's not going to get this last portion. So you end up with a little bit more of the tool sticking out on that one. Let's see. Yeah, I would say it doesn't bury that deep. It goes to about here. Okay. Now that those are out of the way, what kind of tools do we have on the outside? Would like to look at the plain edge first. So on the Free, this is a hollow ground blade. I believe it's 420C steel, something like that. Honestly, of the two blades, I think this is the winner for me, which is surprising because the Surge, this has an S30V steel blade. And I do like S30V as compared to 420HC over here. However, the geometry of this blade is much slicier than this one. That hollow grind really helps it out significantly. This flat grind can really like push through material, but it takes a lot of effort. This is a very, very slicey blade. Grab the paper again here. I haven't sharpened this yet. I haven't even stropped it. Oh, you can see I caught a little bit. Okay, it's in need of a touch-up. But I've been carrying it for about 3 weeks, cutting all kinds of things, vinyl tubing, cardboard, paper, plastic, all kinds of stuff. This has been resharpened, although have not helped it out in a while. It needs a little bit of work as well. This is a very good blade. Overall, they're both really good blades, but I think the winner is the plain edge on the P4. And that may surprise some of you. But another factor is how easy it is to disengage. All these locking mechanisms are just a little, you just kind of push this piece to the side and flick it down. It's a piece of cake. I don't see this taking on a whole lot of wear in the future. Whereas this liner lock, hopefully you can see, it travels like a little bit past the blade even. So it's really been worked to its maximum. So I don't know how much life this has left in it before I start getting like, you know, lock rock this way, like the blade starts to move, get that blade play in there. We'll see. So the tools are slightly differently arranged on each one, so we'll go to the clip side. the Surge scissors. Should come as no surprise that these big beefy scissors beat the Leatherman Free P4 scissors for me. However, it's more complicated than it might seem, because in terms of cutting edge, they are almost the same. So they're almost the same size, like cutting area, but because these are like beefier, they're more comfortable to use, and this is also a more comfortable scissor set to deploy. Like, I'm doing this very easily one-handed. These scissors are kind of weird because it doesn't want to come out well. You can see how much this hesitates to like push out, and right there is the hardest bit. So they're actually kind of harder to get out of this tool than they are on the Surge. So Surge wins the scissors contest. The saw. This is, in my opinion, the least useful tool on the P4. I don't know why I have it. If you are sawing in an urban environment, you probably aren't using a pocket saw. You're probably not doing it like spur of the moment. You probably have a tool already for sawing wood. That's just my opinion as a guy who is often in a city environment. Yeah, if I'm working with wood, I probably know ahead of time. And this is where the Surge really shines. This is a Bosch T-shank compatible, I don't know what you call it, like holder here. Anyway, see this little T cross-shaped section here. Bosch makes a whole bunch of tools that you can plug into here. Mostly saws, but it's things like, you know, metal saws, or if you're a plumber, you can have, you know, a pipe saw on there, something for cutting PVC. And let's see, this also comes with a saw that looks just like this that plugs in here. Let me see if I can grab it. Hold on. I have a little cut here. Okay, so I couldn't find it. And the reason I couldn't find it is because I put it away because I never use it. Really, this diamond file is awesome, and the fact that it's removable is even better because I've used it to sharpen the rest of the tools in this multi-tool. That alone, like it being a self-sustaining system, is phenomenal and blows the crap out of this stupid pocket saw. I just don't get it. Alright. That's another point for the Surge. I'll tally up the points later when I'm editing. I'm not going to keep track right now. Here's the Serrated Blade. And let's see, where is that on this one? It's a right-handed tool. These are virtually the same. I have used both of these sparingly. I prefer a plain edge. They both cut well. They both cut cardboard and rope and, you know, all kinds of coarse materials. I will give it to, I guess, the P4 because of its like scraping tip here. This tip, as I'll show you in a second, can actually replace like, I don't know, 1 to 2 tools that are in the rest of the tool set for the P4. I'll explain what I mean later. But yeah, that scraping tip is the only reason I would count it as a little bit better than the knife on the Surge here. Okay, and that does it for the tools that are accessible on the outside of the Surge. However, the free P4 has all of its tools on the outside except for the pliers, which is pretty awesome if you're asking me. Really like that. Really wish the Surge had that. It does come with some drawbacks that I'll show you. So let's open this guy up. Can opener, bit holder, and as you can see, I'm using like my nail to get in here, whereas on the free, you literally just, like, you see how easy they close. You just push it, just push this little area, and the tools pop out. It is super easy to get stuff one-handed. Honestly, is one of the best features of this tool. Anyway, I digress. So, as we can see, we have a little tiny rinky-dink file on here. I have already expressed my love for the file on the Surge. So yeah, this is silly and small, and is also a taper ground screwdriver, which I don't really need. This is supposed to be like a ruler. think you can see it on there. Those little like inch and centimeter marks. It's so short, it's basically useless. Like, I don't know who's measuring only like an inch and a half or, 40 millimeters worth of stuff at a time. What is that, like 3 centimeters? 3.5? It's so short. So yeah, I don't get that. The Surge's answer was to put some marks on the handles. Hopefully you can see them. You probably see little marks on here. It has inch and centimeters. Never really used that either, but you know what? At least it's not taking up a tool slot. So I appreciate that. That victory goes to the Surge. This is supposed to be the awl. If it looks like a screwdriver, it's because it is a screwdriver. Seriously. It is ground like this at the tip, which makes it a worse screwdriver, and is not pointy, so it's not a very good awl, and it has a very small hole. So yeah, I don't really get it, especially when you look at the Surge awl. Nice pointy tip, actually has a little bit of an edge here, so you could use it for like scraping. A little more generous hole if you're trying to make like, some rough repairs with a needle and thread. So the awl goes to the Surge as well. Let's see, I would compare this is supposed to be a scraper tool. You can see a little sharpened edge here. Scraper tool / screwdriver. You know what? I'm gonna give it to the Surge because I like this bigger, fatter screwdriver more. I like that it's not trying to be 2 tools in one, because it really hasn't worked out for this tool. They're trying to pack more function in, and in fact shooting 2 functions in the foot. So if we learn anything from the Surge, it is when you have a tool, make sure it does the thing it's supposed to do. Small screwdriver, I don't think I use this for a whole lot of screws. It has some wear on it because I use most of these as scrapers. And again, there is a little like bit holder. So this one I don't really use as a scraper. This was actually for driving bits and stuff. You can buy a whole tool set that fits in here, which is awesome because that makes this tool slot many times more useful than any of these fixed tools on the free. So yeah, the victory for this tool design I still think goes to the Surge, although this is kind of handy, but if I have 2 blades already, what do I care? This Phillips head works. It is also a bottle opener. It works. I still prefer the tool set over here. I think this bit holder is far and away better than anything that the free has inside of it. The can opener, this is kind of a weak sauce can opener in comparison to this one. You can see this one has tons of wear on it. I have punched this through lots of different aluminum containers mostly. But yeah, when you need to make a hole in aluminum, this is the way to go. This is not. I would probably end up using one of the blades on the exterior to punch through. Or this. And this, I suppose, could be kind of a can opener as well. Yeah, it's just a weak tool set inside the free here, and this really needs to change in the future. You don't need 1, 2, 3, 4 flathead screwdrivers. Although, if we look over at the Surge, there's 1, 2, and 2.5 basically, because this is also Phillips. At least 2, you could call it 3. Leatherman, chill out with the flathead screwdrivers. If you want us to have a bunch of flathead screwdrivers of various sizes, you have the solution right here. This is the solution, the 2-dimensional bit holder. I don't know why you're screwing around and giving us a bunch of like little tiny pieces of metal. If it doesn't have a specific function, just keep it out. It would keep the weight down. But this is my opinion, of course. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm just one guy. All right, so now we come to the main function of both of these tools, which is the pliers. The Surge is kind of tough to open. Opening it, well, I guess opening it isn't as much of a problem as closing it. Like I said, I've had this for 5 years and it is still breaking in. It's still pretty tough to try and push these closed, especially this one. You can see I have to like rest it on my knuckle, rest it on my hand, and break it, and then it can close. But it takes some force. Whereas the free really is just like swinging around. It's a piece of cake. It actually like flops open. So it's very nice for like precise work. You can kind of get 2 fingers on there and use it very calmly and collectively. Like if you're just trying to like manipulate some, pull a thread or something, this is much easier than using the surge. So in terms of accessibility, I really think the free excels here. Both of them have replaceable wire cutters. I have used both of the replaceable wire cutters, and I gotta say they perform about the same, which is surprising, because looking at the surge, it looks like these are very reinforced and could do more work than this. But I have absolutely cranked on both of these tools, and they've both held up. They are both still well aligned at their tips. You can see a little, hopefully a gap between the jaws there and there, hopefully. Yeah, they are precisely aligned. Yeah, I got no complaints. Honestly, I think just the usability of the free puts it ahead in this particular comparison. I just love how smooth they are to use, and yeah, I have faith in the plier heads at least. I know if you saw my other videos, I had a pair of these that totally crapped out when I cut hard wire, and I did it again with this pair and they held up fine. So I'm just gonna write that pair off as a dud, a lemon if you will, and say that your tool should be able to cut super hard wire no problem. And if you do have a problem, these are easily replaced. I think it's like $10 or something. Super reasonable. Yeah, and then there's actually a function that this has, and hopefully I'll roll in the clip from when I was at work. The Leatherman Free P4 is actually partially magnetized. You can pick up things like staples, paper clips, stuff like that. And some of the tools are also magnetized as well. So in the future, Leatherman, I think you need to make more focused use of the magnetic architecture here, because I was able to pick up steel. I think I picked up a couple of paper clips in my clip I recorded. I was able to pick up steel with this Phillips head. So yeah, we might be able to do something with that, even if you just include like a bit holder, and I can like take the bit out and run it over the magnets and magnetize it. That's fantastic. That is akin to being able to sharpen the tools with one of the tools included, like on the Surge. So yeah, think about that in the future, definitely, because I think there's something there. Another thing I really like about the free P4 is just how easy all these things come out. It is very, very easy to do everything one-handed. You can lock all the tools in at once, which is interesting. And this mechanism, I actually am not as worried about it wearing in. Like we saw on the knife on my Surge, that lock bar is really traveling over to the side. I don't see that happening with this particular locking mechanism. You can see how it pushes out and then falls into place. And then to release it, pull it out, and the tang swivels through that area and closes again. I don't see that breaking down as quickly as the liner lock based tools on the Surge. So that's another thing that needs to stick around. I guess I could just speak to aesthetics for a second. Either one of these is fine. I'm really not huge on the aesthetics. I got the blackened version because I was working at a chemical factory. and it seems to resist a lot of corrosion, which is nice. But this I bring to a lab where, you know, I'm able to like rinse it with isopropyl alcohol and whatnot. So I'm not too worried about this steel. Even if it rusts, I don't think I'm going to care that much. So yeah, the patterning, it doesn't mean that much to me. If you're really into it, let me know in the comments, but Leatherman, do whatever you want. Please just focus on the tool set first, because there were some major critiques I had here. So, in conclusion, if I had to pick a tool for the day, I know I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of different stuff. I know I'm going to cut through cordage and cardboard and maybe encounter some wood and plastic and strip wires and you know, bend things and scrape things. I am probably grabbing the Surge. This tool is alright. It has been better for my YouTube channel than my overall utility, which is kind of funny. But I do see this as having potential. Like, if you can get the tool set contained in the Surge to fit a magnetic architecture and not be heavier than the Surge is, oh man, that would be such a huge win. That's what I'm hoping will happen in the future. So yeah, it's fine to critique the Leatherman Free P4 as long as it's just back it up. Back it up. Offer Leatherman solutions so that when they go and reformulate and make a new iteration of this tool, it's even better. Because this has some good stuff going for it. Would I use this as a hammer? Probably not. I have used the Surge as a hammer. Mostly this back part. Just bash stuff with it. I probably wouldn't do it with this one. Plus, honestly, this is more comfortable to grip than the Free. And so those reasons also factor into why I would choose the Surge still over the Leatherman Free P4. All right. So I think I've said my piece. Let's just get some gratuitous shots of my Surge, the epic winner and well-stained, well-loved victor of this particular video. Thank you all for watching. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, or hate you need to spew, please do it in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. I just ask that you tell me why, because I don't plan on being a really crappy video maker for too much longer. All right. Thank you, multi-tool people. Thank you, knife people, for watching my channel. Yeah, more stuff coming soon because I do this all the time now, I guess. All right. Catch you on the next video. Peace.